I pooped my pants. I need to get this off my chest. I pooped myself for the first time as an adult 2 days ago. I am completely embarrassed and honestly traumatized from the experience. This is my way of processing. Allow me to start where all stories do, from the beginning. To set the stage, I am in my early 30s and drive a maroon Toyota Sienna. I had just left a very emotional tour of an elementary school. I was there because my daughter is changing schools mid-year and we went to meet the principal and have a tour. It couldn't have gone better. My wife, daughter, and I left feeling elated. We sat on the curb basking in the sun and inner warmth from our lovely experience. That was the moment when I felt it. A panging feeling in my stomach. Was it love? Was it sadness? Was it anger? Was it the Trader Joe's Pollock painter I had for lunch? I did not know, but one thing was certain: the feeling was growing stronger by the moment. Suddenly, I told my wife I had to go, and without another word I beelined for the Batmobile, soon to become the Shatmobile. Yes, it was the microwavable Pollock painter knocking on my booty like a SWAT team at the door of an illegal drug lab. I buckled up and stepped on the gas. My eyes scanning the surrounding area for a place to let the demon escape. But I was in suburbia with no hope. I saw a long shrub 5 feet from a fancy house. Was this the place I would exorcise my demon child Lakshmi? No. No. Dog walkers. Darn. I had to press on. Could I make it home? I looked at the GPS, 27M, not a chance. The feeling was getting worse. It was like 10,000 tiny elephants stabbing my stomach and sphincter with twice as many tusks. Time was running out. There was nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Hope left my eyes like ravens flying into a dark horizon as reality dawned upon me. I had to let go. I gripped the steering wheel, inhaled, and shat my pants for the first time. And then, a warm feeling came over me. Was the seat warmer on? No. It was just the heat my crap-filled pants. Utter humiliation. Now what? 26M left. What do I do? I rolled down all the windows, opened the sunroof, luxury model Sienna, and I asked God. No answer. I continued to drive, contemplating my next move. Don't people poop themselves when they die? Should I double down and just kill myself? Make this whole thing seem like it was planned? No, I couldn't do that. I saw a sign for the hospital emergency room. Should I go there and tell them I pooped myself? It certainly was an emergency. No. I just had to get home as quickly as possible. And that's when the school bus came. Stuck in my poop-filled pants behind a school bus. Just my luck. Have you ever been stuck in traffic and made eye contact with someone when your pants are filled with crap? It's a very vulnerable experience. Finally, no more school bus. I pressed hard on the gas and made it onto the highway. Now on the open road with 20M left, I exhaled deeply. Would my life ever be the same? In the meantime, any thoughts or prayers welcome. My hands on the steering wheel, my pants filled with Pollock painter, and my mind spinning like an anorexic ballerina, I pressed on. 19M left before I got home. What was I going to do when I arrived? Reader, you have to understand, this wasn't any ordinary shit. There was no form to it. It wasn't a Yule log, this was straight splatter. This was Uncle Benji's mud surprise. This was Sharda, from the movie 300, a stretch perhaps. The question I kept asking myself was, what would happen when I stood up? Would it be a Dublin slide down into my socks? The socks were special to me as I got them as a Christmas gift. I was already processing the loss of the pants. My favorite pair. Oh well, I had bigger problems. At this point in the story, you might be wondering about the integrity of my leather seat. Reminder: luxury model Sienna. Allow me to back up a little to explain some irony. 85M earlier, I picked up my daughter from school to meet my wife at this new school where we were taking a tour. We arrived ahead of my wife, and I invited my daughter to sit in the front seat. There was a green towel, RIP, on the seat, and she asked why it was there. I told her she didn't want to know. When pressed, I told her it was because when I had to drive Grandpa to his doctor's appointments, I wanted to protect the seat from accidents. Fast forward to the moment I pooped myself, I grabbed that towel faster than you can say monkey taint. So that was how I sacrificed one object to save another. Good one, God. I was sitting on the green towel, with fear in my heart that it wasn't going to be enough to keep the Indian Army from invading my beloved Sienna. I had to get home. I had to beat my wife home. I needed to cover up the crime before she arrived. Minutes felt like hours, and seconds felt like years. Finally, I arrive on my street. The only problem is that it's a busy road, and school has just let out. Kids everywhere. There is a cop car in front of me. I turn into my driveway cautiously, and the red light causes the cop to stop right in front of my driveway. I stare at my rearview mirror, surveying scene like a criminal harboring stolen cargo from Bombay. Beads of sweat on my forehead, I swear I can feel something trickling down my leg. I had to make a run for it. The crossing guard was a few yards away and looked through the driver's window suspiciously. Darn! I had an audience. Green light. This was my moment. I swung open the car door, wrapped the green towel around me, and made a break for it. Up the steps, fumbling with my keys. I opened the door, took off my shoes, no time to inspect them, and ran upstairs. My brain was racing like this was a Bond movie and I had to defuse an explosive on a timer. Surely my wife would come home soon. I needed a trash bag. I wobbled into my daughter's room like a rabid penguin and emptied a black trash bag filled with giveaway toys recklessly onto the wooden floor. Now back in the bathroom, I threw off all my clothes into the trash bag and immediately hopped into the tub/shower. The next part one will leave for the imagination. It was like Saving Private Ryan on crack. 2 showers and a horror show later, I run downstairs with the trash bag and swing open the door to be face-to-face with my wife. She looks at me, looks at the trash bag, then looks at my car's open windows/sunroof. Something happened, I say with a look of terror in my eyes. Did you poop your pants? She said without missing a beat. I didn't even need to respond. She burst into hysterical laughter and walked past me into the house. Humbled to my core, I walked to the trash can and threw away my favorite pair of pants. The end. Epilogue. Okay, so a few more things of note. 1. The car was totally fine. I wiped down the seat, even though it was clean. Driving with the windows down and then leaving them open did the trick. Still sprayed Febreze. 2. It took me about 48 hours to process the humiliation, and it really wasn't until I wrote this all down that I finally got over it. 3. I had plans to see a Broadway show that night in NYC. I debated whether or not I wanted to go, for obvious reasons. I decided that I would go, but with a few safeguards. I kid you not that I had a 50-pack of Depends in my trunk for my father. I know, I should have remembered they were there. In any event, I decided to test one of them out for this trip to NYC on the train, lol. I also put an entire bottle of Pepto-Bismol in my backpack. So yeah, I was rocking a Depends and a full bottle of Pepto on the train. Luckily, neither were needed. Thanks for letting me tell my tale.